In ancient Egypt, death was never believed to be the end of existence. For the ancient Egyptians, death marked the beginning of another journey.
They believed the soul would travel beyond the world of the living. But before reaching eternity, every soul had to face judgment. Deep within the afterlife awaited the Hall of Osiris. At the center of this divine court stood the sacred scales of truth. Here the truth of every human life would finally be revealed. Every soul carried the memory of its life within the heart. The heart was believed to hold every truth of a lifetime. And now, the moment of judgment had finally arrived. The god Anubis stepped forward to begin the sacred ritual. Carefully, he lifted the heart of the deceased. The heart was placed upon one side of the scale. Opposite the heart rested the feather of Maat. Now the scales would reveal the truth of a lifetime. Slowly, the sacred scale began to move. Every god in the hall watched the judgment unfold. The truth of a lifetime now rested upon the scale. And in the shadows, another presence waited. Amit, the devourer of souls, waited for the verdict. The sacred balance trembled as the judgment began. Anubis watched carefully as the scales moved. The heart carried every truth of the mortal life. Even the smallest lie could weigh the heart down. And the fate of the soul hung upon that balance. The sacred scale continued to move under the weight of truth. The truth of a lifetime could no longer be hidden. In the shadows, Amit prepared to claim her prize. For those whose hearts were heavy, there would be no mercy. But if the scales found balance, the soul would live forever. The sacred balance finally came to rest. The truth of the soul had been revealed. Before the throne of Osiris, the verdict awaited. Osiris rose to pronounce the judgment of eternity. The fate of the soul would now be decided forever. The divine court watched as the final decision approached. Even Amit paused as the balance revealed its truth. The heart had proven worthy before the feather of truth. Osiris accepted the soul into the eternal afterlife.
The gates of eternity slowly opened before the soul. Beyond the Hall of Judgment lay the eternal fields of Aru.
This was the paradise promised to the worthy.
Here the soul could live forever in peace. The eternal Nile flowed through this sacred land.
This was the reward for a life lived in truth.
In the fields of Aru, life continued beyond death. Here the worthy lived in harmony with the gods.
Their journey through death had finally ended.
For the ancient Egyptians, the heart defined the soul.
And every heart would one day face the scales of truth. The ancient Egyptians believed the heart recorded every action. Nothing could escape the memory carried within the heart. Every word and every deed left its weight behind.
One day, every soul would stand before the scales. And there, truth alone would determine eternity.
The scales of Ma'at represented the balance of the universe.
To live in truth meant harmony with the cosmic order.
Those who lived with justice would never fear the scales.
For the Egyptians, truth was the path to eternity. And the heart remained the final witness of every life.
For the ancient Egyptians, the heart was the soul's true record. Every life would one day stand before the scales. There, truth would carry more weight than power or wealth.
The scales of Ma'at would reveal the truth of existence. And the heart would decide the destiny of the soul.
For thousands of years, this belief shaped Egyptian civilization. The judgment of the heart became a symbol of justice. A reminder that truth was the foundation of eternity.
Even today, the scales of truth still speak to humanity.
For in the end, every heart must face the balance. Across the ages, the scales of Ma'at have never lost their meaning.
They remind us that every life leaves a weight behind.
And one day, every heart must face the balance.
Where truth alone decides the fate of eternity. For in the end, the heart remembers everything.